Well, welcome to this review where I talk more about like bums and love handles than I do about the actual quiver I'm reviewing. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Vix and today I'm going to be reviewing the Elite Easton takedown hip quiver. The Easton Elite... reviewing the Easton Elite takedown hip quiver. So I've had this quiver about a year now, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I like about it, what I dislike about it. Some of these things might be a bit biased because some things are more of an issue or a deal breaker for me, but to some of you, you might think, oh, that's not really anything at all. But anyway, I'm going to talk about a bit of the reason why I have this quiver in the first place. So I've been doing archery for about 17 years now, and for like the last 10-ish years I've had this old cartel quiver. It does have tubes to go inside, but I don't have them with me right now. And you know, I've been doing archery for a long while and I was just like, oh, I'll treat myself to like a more expensive, really nice quiver. Anyway, the reason I was drawn to this one is firstly, it's a takedown quiver, which I thought was really cool. Like that, you don't see that around that much. Well, I haven't seen many of those around, so I was really curious what it would be like. The second thing is that I specifically am really picky over the shape of my quiver. Like, I like for there to be at least 3 sections inside, as you can see this one has, and I like sort of just this shape to my quiver, and I like for a big pouch to be here and a smaller pouch at the top, just like my old one. So as you can see, I have a pouch at the top and one here, and I really liked that setup in my old quiver, so I decided to go for this one. The main thing holding me back from buying it was the big deal breaker is that it doesn't come in purple, unfortunately, but it does come in some really nice colours. Maybe I'll insert a picture here, maybe I won't. But yeah, there's also this version I got. It's kind of the stiffer plastic version. There is a version which is kind of material all along here, like a thinner material, and those come in a lot more different colours. So check that out, and I think that's also a takedown version. I'll have to check, but yeah, anyway. So you're probably wondering, is this quiver worth the money? Because it was quite expensive. I can't remember how much, but I'll look it up and maybe I'll insert it here or something. Anyway, the reason I ordered this quiver, despite it not coming in purple, was I thought I'll just get it in black and then I'll customize it when it arrives. However, we're a year later and I still haven't done that. So I thought I would review it before I decorate it, because I like ruining nice things for myself. So before I completely destroy it, let's have a look at it in its complete original glory. Jumping in just to how it looks, as you can see, the reason why I actually didn't customize it when I bought it a year ago was because it arrived and I was like, wow, it is like really beautiful. It actually looks lovely. I wasn't sure whether to get this version or the version in white, but it is really stunning when you look at it. You can see there's like some sort of, I think it's WPP, woven poly, here and here, and there, some details. There's a kind of mesh fabric here, and at the bottom pocket here, the woven poly is on the back as well, and you have a little you have like a little sort of nylon bit at the back with Easton written on it. I'm not sure if it's going to focus and show you that, but that's quite cool. That's also on the inside of the pocket, if I can show you. So I'm not sure if you can see here, the outer pocket and the bigger pocket as well has that inside. So it's a really nice looking quiver, and I was really scared to customize it and decorate it because I know I'm gonna ruin it. It also comes with a belt as such. It has a kind of like T-bolt fastening, so it just goes in like that and twists. It's also like a really nice kind of thick belt, and it's quite stiff material. And you know what that means, right? You know what it means. It means it's flattering on your love handles. Some belts which come with quivers are kind of like this flimsy seatbelt material, which just feels like it's kind of like trying to cut into your stomach and steal your organs from you. So this one is quite comfortable. I don't use it. Like, who buys a quiver for the belt anyway? Like, I have my own belt. But one issue, because you'll see a clip later where I'm wearing this just to show how it sits on a body. But like, I forgot one of the reasons why I didn't decide to use this. And that reason is, on the inside of here, right? On the inside of here, there's Velcro on the inside part. So, and you see, throughout the entirety of the belt, there's like the soft Velcro. So when you try and thread it through here, it gets stuck, and it's quite a firm Velcro. It's not a weak Velcro, which is really great if you somehow manage to brute force it into position, because that means it won't move around on your belt whilst you're shooting, which I guess is kind of a pro. But on the other hand, if like you're not the strongest person and you're not that good with like threading stuff through with your finger, like, it was a struggle, man. It was a struggle, but it's not that bad. The other thing about the belt is that it goes like, because as you can see, I've got it almost at the very smallest setting. Like, there's kind of just this much more that I could adjust it. And that means, like, it's really great because it fits a lot of sizes. Like, if you're bigger, this won't be an issue for you. But for me, because I'm smaller, like, if I was any smaller, this would just fall straight off me. I wouldn't be able to adjust it enough to be, like, tight enough. Or that it would just be, like, my quiver would be hanging really loose. So think about that as well. The belt also has these hooks. I'm not sure what they're for, because if you look where you kind of fold the belt back on itself, it doesn't really go over that part. As you can see, it doesn't fit. So I think these might be for clipping tools on. I'm not sure. I don't think it said in the description of the quiver what these are for, but I'm guessing it's for tools. But yeah, once again, the tools will be kind of hanging, I guess, right next to your quiver. You have to be like careful which way you thread this in, I guess. That's the belt. It's flattering on the love handles. Important bit. It fits a lot of sizes, handy little things, but really difficult to get to thread through the quiver. That's my only issue with it. But like I said, I haven't used it at all. I use my regular belt, which I've used since I started archery, and it's really comfortable, so I have no reason really to swap it out. Okay, going on to the next part. This is another issue I had with the quiver. Like, it's not all bad, I promise this review. I do really like this quiver. But one of the biggest disappointments, I think, with it is that it's advertised as a takedown quiver. So you can take this pouch off, and you can also take this section off because there's a zip here. Now when it arrived in its original packing, I can't remember if I think this wasn't separate, but there was like a piece of cardboard slotted in behind it, so that you would have to take this off to take the cardboard out. So I think I took it off, which was fine, but then I couldn't get it back on. It's one of those special kind of like pop-in things. I don't know what you call it, but yeah, it's really, even if you have the technique right, it takes a lot of force to get it back on. And like, I tried for like a solid hour, and then I went to like my parents and I was like, guys, can you do this? And neither of them could do it, and they were struggling away at it for ages. And eventually, after like a couple of hours of trying and then going away and coming back, we finally managed to get it back on. So huge disappointment in this is that if you're expecting this to be easy to, like, it's easy enough to take off, but if you want to put it back on, like, don't show up to a don't take this off right before a competition and then expect while you're setting your bow back up to be able to put this back on. I even had to watch a YouTube video because there's like another YouTube video on here of someone like showing this and they like put it on. I don't know, maybe it's just a certain type of technique. But yeah, I'm not even going to take this off for you because if I take it off, there's no way in hell of getting it back on. So you can sit and watch me struggle here for another 2 hours like while I try and get it back on. The other part of the takedown like isn't too bad. The zip part, there's a little button at the back which you have to take off first. Oops. See, even that popper is quite strong, so you know it's not going to come off too easily. And then the zip at the front, you just unzip it. Oops, I hit myself in the face there. And it just slides off like that. So you're left with 2 pieces, this one and this one. Once again, it's a little bit fiddly to put back together. Like, I'm not sure if I can even do it this way for the camera, but let's give it a go. So as you can see here, the problem is that the pouch is really in the way. And if you had like a lot of your archery equipment and stuff like Allen keys and things knocking about, I imagine it would be quite difficult to get back together. But it is a bit fiddly. You need to definitely put it down onto a surface. Ah, there we go. So that's doable, but it's just a bit fiddly. Like, if I'm someone who shows up to competitions like a bit late sometimes, well not late, but you know, with like 10 minutes to spare, and I want to get my kit up really quickly, and I can't imagine this being kind of an easy thing to do. Like, the takedown thing is like a really good thing because I sort of had this plan to have like a smaller archery bag and to just try and fit stuff in. But I don't I don't use the takedown options really at all. It is very cool though. It's very cool. The zip's fine to use. This pouch, impossible. Absolutely impossible. No. Anyway, moving on with this review. Let's talk about the pouch. It's quite nice. It's got a lot of space. And also I quite like how it's a magnet close one, so there's magnets here and here for when you close it. I use it, there's enough space for like the arrow puller and a tab, and like even my phone fits in there, I think, like usually. Like, sure, it goes up a little bit, but the tab does sort of still sit over it. So like it's really spacious. My issue is issue again is that the magnet isn't as strong as I'd like it to be, because as you like, it's sort of okay here, but if you have it this even slightly overstuffed, it just doesn't close. My old one was pretty good because it had a Velcro. This is another thing which I'm really picky about. I don't want like a button there or anything. I always want something which will just snap shut. But yeah, I haven't really had a problem with this either way. Like, this has been pretty good. There's also a clip here, which is supposed to be for your tab. I'm not showing it very well, am I? There's a clip here, which is supposed to be for your tab, but it's kind of a weird clip. I don't know how the tab would like sort of go in there, because I have one with like the string over the finger and like the toggle. And if I tried to like loop that on, it would just kind of move the strap on my tab, which I wouldn't want. I wouldn't want it readjusted. So this is another thing I don't really use at all on here. But I imagine it would be good if you had an arrow puller with a ring on it, like one of those key rings, which you could just slip on. Okay, my next pet peeve. These D-rings. Like, if you think about how you have this on your belt, like anything here or here, it's just going to be like in the way of your hip or your leg or your bum. Like, it's just going to be knocking against your bum the whole time. Well, welcome to this review where I talk more about like bums and love handles than I do about the actual quiver I'm reviewing. But yeah, it's just going to be like hitting your hip or your bum or something. And for me, like, this is kind of a big pet peeve for me, because I also love hanging stuff off my quiver, like just decorations and stuff. And like my old one of my absolute favourite things about my old quiver is that there was a ring here on the end of where the arrows are, and this is like a really great place because it just doesn't knock against your legs at all because it's too far out the quiver, if that makes sense. So like it's a bit far to reach down if you want to unhook like an arrow puller or something, I guess, but it's really great for decorations. And I feel like a lot of archers like to make their quivers their own, with like pins or medals or anything. And this is great for hanging off of that. But here I've noticed if I hang anything off, it kind of sits on the inside. It ends up sitting inside where like my leg or my hip is, and that's a bit of a pet peeve. Like I don't know why it isn't on the bottom of here or like here or just on the bottom of the pouch even. But yeah, I don't see why these are here. I don't like it. Some people might find this is great for them, but like I said, this is one of my bias things. It's not really an issue with the quiver, it's just something which I don't really appreciate because I just can't hang anything there. Moving down the quiver, we have these pouches. What I really love is that it's a double pouch. It's another one of those things which I'm quite picky about, where I like a double pouch. It would have been nice to also have like a slot as well. Like on this one, because it's really great for your pens, but this one is really great. I love it. This has a lot more space than my old one, which is nice. As you can see here, like it doesn't show up much on the video, but it is bigger. So you have the outer pouch, lots of space, and the inner pouch. What I like here is that it has little elasticated pockets. So if you don't want your stuff like knocking about and you just want to reach in and know where everything is, it's really useful. But yeah, this is once again huge. It reaches all the way down. Like I can fit half my arm in there. It's great. So if you want to carry stuff around, really good. And I carry like quite a bit around in there, so it's great. Moving to the back, there's like this little slot here, and I didn't know what it was for ages. And then I went back and read the description, and it's for your bracing height gauge. It's for your bracing height gauge, which seems a bit odd to me, like because it's in the back. Once again, like the prongs are kind of, because it has two little like clippy prongs on one end, so isn't that just, once again, isn't it going to just be digging into your bum? Like I don't carry one with me. I keep it in with the rest of my archery kit because I don't really whip it out and use it on a daily basis. I really only do it when I'm setting my bow up, like once in a while just to check stuff. So, but if you want, like, I'm not sure how useful this is. If anyone has a quiver with this like on the inside, doesn't it scratch your bum? Doesn't it scratch your So if you're someone who likes having your bum scratched throughout shooting all the time, this is for you, mate. It's for you. Okay, I'm going to go onto my absolute favourite thing about this quiver. You might think, haven't you covered it all? No, I haven't. My absolute favourite thing is these dividers. A lot of quivers have the arrow tube. Actually, let me get it out. Okay, I found them. They're here. So a lot of quivers have these arrow tubes inside them, just like my old one. There you go. And this one just has like a big old pocket with dividers, and I really love that because, you know, if you have one of these and you've pulled your arrows out and you're trying to get them back in, and you have to do that sort of awkward thing where you like slam them against your thighs so that they're all in a tight group the same length, so that you can put it in so that they're not like doing this business. So that, you know, you've got a bunch of arrows and you're doing like this business, and you're like, it's like next to you, and then some go down the side and they're not in they're not in. So you have to do like this awkward thing against your thigh and then kind of wobble them in, right? You don't have to do that with this. It's really easy to just like slide them in and you're sorted. Like, you really don't have to do that awkward like stopping halfway down the range trying to like put them back in your quiver. So I really appreciate this so much. You have no idea, it's great. You can apparently take the dividers out if you have like some posi button head screws. So if you have a posi screwdriver, you can just like take them out and the dividers come out. I've never done that because I really like having these here because I'm one of those dopes who forgets how many arrows I've shot. So if I'm shooting like a round where I have to shoot only 3 arrows, I'll make sure they're in like the top section. So once I'm out of arrows up there, I have my spares here and I know that I don't have to shoot anymore. But if you're someone who has a better memory than me, maybe you'll just want a big old pouch and that'll just be even easier to like slot your arrows back in. But yeah, love that about this quiver. Okay, going back to like this whole thing, the biggest issue I have with it, of course, is like lack of customizability, I guess. With my like getting it out again. So with my old quiver, as you can see, because it's like that sort of canvasy material, like it's not solid plastic. So I put a lot of like pins in it. It had this loop here so I could hang key rings and whatever off it. It has like another one down here which is quite nice. But this one, because it's hard plastic, you can't really put pins in it or anything. And you don't really, especially since it's a bit pricey, you don't really want to ruin it by putting pins in and like ruining the inner lining. You can thread, like if you have a pin with a sort of brooch back where it goes like threaded through and back, if you do it really carefully, you can probably get it through these little perforations here and on the pouch as well. But once again, like it's not really built for that. It's not really built for any customization capability, like to make it your own. I can see why they didn't bother though, because like I said, I wanted to, and then I thought, wow, it's so beautiful, because it really does look very nice in person. So I can see why they wouldn't have made it for that. But yeah, going on to like actual using it in the field, I haven't had any issues with using it in the field. Like the arrows don't fall out of it. I can sort of like sit down with it comfortably. Like I'm one of those people where on a field shoot, I like to sit down on the floor cross-legged, and this doesn't get in the way at all. It doesn't get in the way on chairs, doesn't get in the way like when I'm sitting down. Like my arrows have never fallen out of it, even though I do some silly things, like they've never fallen out. So it's very secure. It's comfortable. Like, unless, you decide to put a bracing height gauge in the back, maybe if you want to be poked in the bum. But, like, aside from that and, like, the hanging stuff off here where it interferes with your thigh a bit, aside from that, it's very comfortable to wear. Quickly, here is, like, a video of me wearing it just so you can get an idea of how it kind of sits on the body. Okay, so that wraps up my review. I hope this has been useful. I personally, like as an overall, I really love it. I think it's great. So see you in the next video where I completely ruin this. Bye! Oh yeah, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more archery reviews or DIYs, please give it a like or subscribe to my channel.